Hey everybody, it's Kara. Welcome back to Knowledge Work Nexus. When I was last with you, I was still in a hybrid environment using a Windows computer and an Android phone and an iPad tablet. I have made the move completely over to the Mac OS and iOS environment. I wanted to show you some of the things that you can do with that. I still love my Windows friends and I will still give you some options. I would definitely urge you to check out the link in the description below because I do offer some Windows specific alternatives in that article that I used before I was able to spin my own calendar page with Fantastical and my website provider. Today, I'm going to show you how I am doing my own calendar page completely with Fantastical and my website provider. So, here in Fantastical, I'm just showing you a blank calendar set. We're in my content calendar set. Calendar sets are important for this. And we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to go into them in depth in this video, but if you do have questions about them, do make sure to put those in the comments below. I would love to do some videos on them to tell you a little bit more. Today, we're going to focus on those scheduling openings. So I'm going to go up here to Fantastica. I'm going to go to settings. You can also do this, of course, with the command comma. And then I'm going to go to the openings option. This is where we create these scheduling pages. The first thing you have to do is enable openings. If you haven't checked that, all this will be grayed out, but do go ahead and enable openings to get started. And then you want to choose one calendar set for all of your openings, what calendar set you want to use to check against. So I've created a specific calendar set for this called the scheduling calendar set. We're going to go into that. And then once you've done those two things, you're ready to create your meeting templates. So this is the stuff you do the first time. And then this is what you do all of the subsequent times that you commit. I'm going to hit meeting templates, and this opens up the page to show all of my existing meeting templates so I can see all of the ones that I have. You'll start with this default My template. I've turned it off. You can turn it back on again or turn it off, your choice. You can also delete them. You can copy the link. You can edit it if you need to. You can change the availability on it. We'll go through that here in just a second, or you can delete it. Let me delete this one because I'm never going to use this one. So you can see what that looks. So now these are all the ones that I have set up. When we want to create a new meeting type, we're going to go up here to the plus button and click Add. This is the screen that lets us go through all of the different options that we have that we can schedule against. So I'm going to do this as a new kind of meeting that's just become available in Fantastical, which is a phone meeting. Not something I do a lot of, but just in case. So I'm going to do a 45-minute phone call with Care in a row. What I've learned over time is a person's name will get filled in from the form. I don't always add a description. A couple of places where the description can be useful is number one, if you have a standard agenda for a certain type of meeting, maybe you have one-on-ones for each of your employees and you have a link to the agenda for theirs, but you want them to always schedule their appointments. You can always come in here and add that description. Just remember it's publicly available if somebody clicks through that link. Be thoughtful about how you distribute and use those links. If that link were to get shared, somebody would be able to see it. So you want to be thoughtful about the information you put here. I'm going to put something completely innocuous in here. Kira will call you at the phone number you provide on the web. So then we're going to do the duration. This is already a 45-minute call. I could give this a more interesting name if I wanted to. So I could do this as like maybe a discovery phone call or something. Since the duration is going to be down here, it's totally up to you how you name these. One of the things I'll talk about in the article in more depth is some of the automations and other things that I want to take advantage of with Mac later on. Giving these very specific names that actually trigger different activities when I run different shortcuts is something I'm thinking about trying to do. There could be some real thought and systematic nature to the naming as you think about that. So again, just something to consider. I want the start time to be 15 minutes before, and that makes sure I've got time to prep before and time to wrap up after if there are things that come out of the meeting. And all of that's managed for you automatically within Fantastical. You don't have to worry about it. This is the calendar that the meeting will show up on. I have 4 different calendars in this calendar set, and I generally want these to be on my work calendar. So they'll show up as this light blue color on my calendar. I can see at a glance that they are work appointments. If you only have one calendar, you don't have to worry about this. You can decide whether or not you want to allow guests. This is an option on the scheduling page. We'll look at one of these pages in a minute, whether you want to allow someone to invite guests from that scheduling page or do not allow. The custom options here are a specific number of guests. Typically, I just leave this the default. I don't care if somebody wants to invite a guest. This is the one that's important for this because we are doing a discovery phone call. I need to require phone numbers. If I was doing a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting, I would probably not request phone number here. But because this is a phone call, I'm going to require the phone number. I do like the option of requesting it as an optional thing on Zoom meetings. That way, in case there is a Zoom issue, you still have their phone number, especially if it's somebody you don't know. That can be really beneficial. So now we get down here into the second part, which is when do you want to schedule these? And this is one of those things where I think Fantastical does a great job of helping you manage yourself a little bit better. If I time blocked, which I'm trying to get to, but I'm not there yet, and I only want these discovery calls to be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the afternoon because maybe Mondays are my creative day, Fridays are my administration and wrapping up the weekday. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are when all the work gets done. And I want to make sure that I've got the right kind of energy, and that's afternoon energy. That's why I might want these Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the afternoon. So let's set that up. I'm going to uncheck Monday. I'm going to uncheck Friday. And then I'm going to remove this block over here. But let's say I want to make this instead of 1 o'clock, I want it to be 12 o'clock. So then I'm going to remove this and I'll change this one to 12. And then I'm going to remove this and I want this one to be 12. You don't have to do that. I just want to show you what your different options are. Or maybe you want this to be 1, but you want to wrap these up by 4:30. You don't want one that goes any later than. So we could do that as well. You've got full control here over how you do these scheduling options. And then finally, on how we want to approve. So you have two options here, approve automatically or approve manually. I'm going to leave these automatic just because I'm putting so much lead time on them. I'll show you that here in just a second. That will give me time to resolve it if there's an issue. If you are going to do something where the lead time is 30 minutes, I would definitely change this to manual. The lead time is how soon before the meeting somebody could schedule it. So this says that you could automatically have a meeting approved on your calendar that somebody could schedule with you 30 minutes before it starts. That doesn't work for me. But I'm going to do automatically. I'm going to change this lead time to custom and make it 1 day. That way I know chances are pretty high. I'm going to see it and review it. I'm also going to change this availability because this is a pretty tight window, this 1 to 4:30. I'm going to change this to 90 days in the future. That gives people the ability to schedule out pretty far with me if they need to. I'm going to do a 15-minute break after each meeting so that I've got, again, time to make sure that I've cleaned up any notes. I'm going to add that meeting template and you're going to see it pop in here. They're in alphabetical order. So 30, 50, 60 by number first, and then D for discovery call. This is the one we just added. I'm going to copy this link. We're ready to go over to my website provider and add this as a button. I use Wix as my website provider. You could use this with any website provider that you have. I'm already on my Monarch Strategies website, so I'm going to come up here to edit site. I'm going to go over here to my pages and I'm going to go to my schedule a call page. Now, I've decided to put all of my links onto their own page. This is not meant to be a Wix tutorial. I do actually create each one of these as a section. So technically I can reuse these on other content pages, which is nice. I will add a new section here that I'm immediately going to delete. We're going to use this one here. There we go. Scheduling demo. That's what we'll call this. And then it's this button right here that I'm going to edit. So I'm going to do my changed text. And this is going to be schedule call. And then this is where you decide where it links to. So I'm going to do this choose a link. And then I want it to go to a web address. And I'm going to paste that URL right there. I want it to open a new window and click. Just for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and publish this. We'll go over to our site really quickly. I'll show you that it works. And then we will get rid of that box. I'll do that after this video. So we're going to go to view site. So here is my website. I'm going to go to that schedule a call page and you see here, oops, let's refresh this because I was on this page earlier. There we go. And now I can go to that schedule call page and you can see what that scheduling page looks like. So here's the discovery phone call with Kara Monroe. And we will do Tuesday, June 6th, so in about a week. And Kara Monroe. And I have to put in a phone number and then delete. And then I'm going to do request this meeting. There we go. So that is done. And we're going to come over here to Fantastical and see what just happened. So in Fantastic, you'll see right now this one here. This was not here before, but you'll see that it has a discovery phone call with Kara Monroe and that I've got all those notes there. So if I click OK, and then I go over to June the 6th, let me show a different calendar set here. See, June the 6th, there is that discovery call. Discovery call with Kara Monroe, and then it adds this dash Kara Monroe. So this is the name where that comes from on the call. So there you go. That is how you create your own scheduling page with Fantastical in your website provider. I'm off to delete that button from my website, but I do hope you'll check this out. I've got some other thoughts on automation and other things in that link in the description below in the article. So do make sure you check that out. And please add any comments or questions that you have in the comment section below.